Welcome to this explainer. Okay, so if you ever catch yourself assuming the AI you're interacting with is reasoning like some digital brain full of facts, well, it's time to completely shatter that illusion. Today, we're taking AI and stripping it down to its rawest, most basic computational components, just to show you the actual mechanics behind its so-called intelligence. But don't worry, we're not going to just leave it in pieces. We're going to build it all the way back up to show you exactly how modern AI frameworks truly work, and honestly, how they manage to seem so incredibly human.
Here's how we're going to break it all down today. We'll start with the truth about LLMs, then look at the memory problem, figure out what an AI agent actually is, discuss the context window limit, see how RAG solves that problem, and finally, look at mapping data in dimensions.
Okay, let's dive right into this with Section 1, the truth about LLMs, illusion versus reality.
So, what exactly is a large language model, or LLM? I want you to really challenge your own assumptions for a second here. When you type a question into something like ChatGPT, what do you picture happening behind the scenes? Because most of us naturally imagine this giant multi-processing brain furiously searching through the world's largest database to fetch a perfectly reasoned, factual answer. But yeah, that is completely false.
In its truest, rawest form, an LLM is literally just the world's best next word predictor. That's the whole shebang. It's a probabilistic mathematical engine. If you ask it, what is the capital of France? It absolutely doesn't open a mental encyclopedia to the France page. Instead, it breaks your sentence down into these tiny pieces called tokens. It calculates the statistical relationship between the subject, the object, and even the fact that you used a question mark. Then it simply guesses the most mathematically probable next word. It guesses the, then it guesses capital, then city, and eventually Paris. It just happens so incredibly fast that it creates this massive illusion of thought.
Which brings us to Section 2, the memory problem. You see, because it's just a prediction engine, it natively suffers from zero memory. Kind of like the main character in that movie Memento. Once it spits out that next word, boom, it completely forgets the conversation you just had.
Now you might be wondering, wait a minute, if it has no memory, how on earth does ChatGPT remember my name from 3 prompts ago? Well, tech companies actually hide this flaw by faking memory through an external loop. Basically, when you send your second prompt, the app wrapper invisibly takes your first prompt, the AI's first answer, and your new prompt and bundles them all together into one giant text block. Every single time you hit enter, you are rolling this compounding snowball of tokens, continuously feeding the AI its own past conversation just so it knows what's going on.
And this probabilistic nature brings us to another super famous AI flaw, the hallucination. A hallucination is quite literally just a confident wrong answer. Because the AI doesn't have an absolute factual database. Remember, it's just predicting the next most likely word. It will occasionally predict a path that sounds grammatically perfect, but is factually completely made up. It's aiming for a 99% probability hit, but sometimes that 1% error margin creates a beautifully articulated lie.
So, how do we actually move beyond basic LLMs to build something genuinely smart and useful? Let's jump into Section 3. What is an AI agent?
To really get this, let's look at what makes a human highly resourceful. A high agency person. A resourceful human uses their brain for processing, their memory for context, and external tools like calculators or search engines to get things done. An AI agent mimics this exact structure perfectly. The LLM acts purely as the processing brain. Then we attach an external memory manager to give it context. And finally, we hook it up with tools, like a web search function to verify facts or a microphone to hear audio. When you combine the LLM, the memory, and the tools, you cross the line from a simple predictor into an autonomous problem-solving agent.
But there's a catch, leading us to Section 4, the context window limit. Because even with a highly capable agent, you can't just hand it a massive task like, say, reading a 200-page document of dense company policies.
Every AI has what's called a context window. Think of this as a physical container with a strictly limited size. For a lot of models, that limit is around 200,000 tokens, which equates to roughly 800,000 characters. If you try to dump a 200-page document into the AI's prompt, plus all of your compounding conversational memory, well, that container is going to fill up very, very fast.
And when that container fills up, you experience something called context rot. The AI literally has to make room for your newest prompt, so it forcefully handles the overflow in one of two ways. It either uses a first-in, first-out method, completely discarding the oldest parts of your conversation or document, or it aggressively summarizes the older data to compress it. Actually, scratch that. It doesn't just summarize it, it essentially squishes it. Either way, critical details are lost, the AI gets super confused, and hallucinations just skyrocket.
So the absolutely crucial point here is, how do we solve context rot without losing accuracy? That brings us to section 5, how RAG solves the problem.
To really wrap our heads around RAG, let's use a relatable analogy. Imagine I asked you to figure out the exact price difference between an iPhone sold in the United States versus one sold in your home country. How would you actually solve that? You wouldn't try to download and memorize the entire internet, right? No way. Instead, you'd naturally follow a very specific workflow. First, you'd retrieve information. You'd go look up the price on the US Apple Store and then your local store. Second, you'd augment your knowledge by finding the current currency exchange rate. And finally, you'd generate an answer by calculating the difference and expressing it to me in natural language. And this brilliantly illustrates the exact framework of RAG, retrieval augmented generation.
So instead of stuffing that entire 200-page policy document into the AI's context window, a RAG system just waits for you to ask a specific question. Say you ask, what is the refund policy for shoes? The system automatically retrieves only the 2 paragraphs regarding shoe refunds from that massive document. It augments the AI's prompt with just that specific data, and then the AI generates the answer. Your context window stays beautifully clean and empty, and because the AI is reading directly from the exact source text, hallucinations are virtually eliminated. It's a real game changer.
But how does the computer actually know which paragraphs are relevant to retrieve in the first place? That brings us to our final stop, section 6, mapping data in dimensions.
It does this through spatial mapping. Okay, imagine we're plotting animals on a simple 2D graph. We put dog in one corner. Where does cat go? Probably pretty close. But what about a fox? Well, a fox is kind of like a dog, but wild, so it shifts a bit. What about a lion? It's a cat, but massive. A parrot? Uh-oh, now we need a new axis for birds. A crocodile? A human? Suddenly, a flat 2D map just isn't enough. To truly capture the nuances between these animals, like their diet, lifespan, and habitat, we don't just need an X, Y, and Z axis. We literally need thousands of dimensions. And this is exactly what the AI does with language. It plots every single word, sentence, and concept in a mathematical space consisting of thousands of dimensions.
So when you ask a question, the computer absolutely doesn't read words like a human does. It locates your question in that vast multidimensional space, and then it calculates the actual mathematical angle of distance to find the closest data points in your document. It's not searching for keywords at all. It's measuring spatial geometry in a universe of thousands of dimensions to retrieve exactly what you need. And honestly, isn't it fascinating to realize that the illusion of AI conversation is actually just the mastery of high-dimensional geometry? It really makes you wonder, as we map more and more of human knowledge into these mathematical spaces, how much closer can this illusion get to actual intelligence? Definitely something to think about next time you type into a chat window. Thanks for joining me on this explainer, and keep learning.